and I saw this body. I saw an extraterrestrial, skinny arms, skinny legs, under 5 feet, had a fairly large head, not large, but compared to the body it was large, and the eyes, they were slanted eyes, no nose, no mouth, no ears. And it was floating in some liquid.
There were a total of 5. Is that correct? 5 caskets or 5?
No, they were crates-like, but they had a liquid in them. The thing was floating in some sort of liquid.
Yes, sir.
They had autopsy reports. They had one, and they did autopsy reports, which I had in my file. In fact, some of that's mentioned in the book. And I described the extraterrestrial. Actually, the way I described him in the book, that one of the reasons when we tried to make flying saucers and they all didn't work, was the extraterrestrial himself, or it, whatever it was, they had no sex organs. He was a clone and built specifically by some intelligence for space travel. He was actually a part of the flying saucer. He was the guidance system.
The Roswell aliens dropped some of the keys to advanced technology, space travel, and genetic engineering right at our feet during the autopsy at Walter Reed Hospital in 1947. Findings included an oversized heart and high capacity, lungs allowed for slow metabolism ideal for long-duration space travel, a small amount of a liquid that looked like thin and milky lymph served as blood. The heart only had internal and diaphragm-like muscles. Thin, fibrous, flexible, and resilient bones were efficient shock absorbers. Mouth was a small slit. No apparent food was found on board. Perhaps the EBEs sucked up nutrients. From their suits, the EBEs, too many, seemed eerily to be reminiscent of little humans. The EBEs had no waste or digestive systems. They did not eat as we do. The outer one-piece space, spiderweb jumpsuit boasted tremendous flexibility and tensile strength. The fit reflected such perfection and tightness that it must have been spun on rather than put on. Fibers in their Spider-Man suits ran lengthwise, possibly shielding the little cosmonauts from harmful rays and the inevitable bombardment of toxic subatomic particles. EBI inner skin featured a fatty tissue layer, very thin and extremely permeable. Perhaps it constantly exchanged whatever was needed, including food and waste. With the spacesuits, Corso considered them androids or robots, neither of which would need food like we would or have waste to dispose of. People at the scene could sense emotions from the EBEs like pain, sadness, or suffering, but heard no words in their heads. No sounds at all were heard from them. EB brains had 4 distinct lobes, and the skulls felt more like spongy cartilage than bone. Headbands, made of a flexible plastic-like material, functioned with the embedding of sensors and electrical conductors, paying some tribute to the assumed powers of the EBI brain. These headbands served as communication devices and perhaps a way to pilot the ship through brain power. Army helicopter pilots, decades later, would employ a similar device. No traditional controls or propulsion systems revealed themselves in the craft, which implied mind control and perhaps electromagnetic waves or the mastery of gravity and space-time. The pilot and crew integrated themselves into the craft's electronics, and their nervous systems controlled the ship's functions. The pilots became the primary circuit of control.